What's up, Tim? Give me, let me know you can hear me. Oh, God. What's up, Shane? Sorry, I'm coming in late, guys. I had stuff to do this morning, and then right before I was supposed to go live, I had a phone call come in that I had to take. All right. So we can't do a long show today. We'll get some action in there. It's been a crazy busy day. Pretty big slate of college basketball today as far as a standard Wednesday goes. Usually there is a good many games, but there's actually more big games than normal for a Wednesday, and we're going to start seeing a lot more of that now that we're finally in conference play. But there are some pretty good matchups, a lot of matchups that have a lot of meaning that are going on tonight. So a lot of time went into college basketball this morning. I'm waiting on two more reports that I requested this morning. Once I have that, I can make final decision. I've got hockey pretty much wrapped up. And my decision's pretty much made, as well as the NBA. I'm just waiting on one more report involving the Toronto game, and then I can decide, whether or not, or what I'm for sure going to play. What's up, Corey? So we'll give it another minute or two, let some people get filed in, because I'm not going to have time to, revisit a lot of stuff. So once we go over it once, that'll kind of be it. We got a few free plays that I'm looking at today, some underdogs that I'm looking at. One that I know most of you are not going to agree with, but nobody agreed with me that Clemson would beat Duke last night either. And I said right here on live, I said, no way I'll lay the points with Duke, because if there was ever a trap game, that has every single making of a trap game. And what do you know? A team that can't even get out of their own way beats the best team in basketball. But that's the way that it happens. What's up, Keith? That's fine, Brennan. That is fine. It ain't the first time, and it probably won't be the last. I'm sure whoever wrote him something is credible. No, I don't think Northern Iowa was a trap game. Now, I will say this. Northern Iowa, I think the lines... I mean, to be honest with you, with the way Northern Iowa's played the past couple of weeks, the line makes a lot of sense. Truth be told, if you bring the entire season into it, then the line's a little bit soft, in my opinion. But, of course, the odds makers aren't going to go off the whole season, in which they shouldn't. It's what's going on in current time. So, Do I think it's a trap game? No. Is it something that Northern Iowa could easily not cover? Sure. Um, but I don't necessarily think it's a trap game. Yeah, I mean, it's moving a lot, Matt. I mean, truth be told, yeah, Scott Clemson won outright. I told y'all yesterday, trap game. There was never ever. I mean, every single thing pointed to a trap game. That's exactly why whoever was saying in here yesterday that they were gonna play Duke for all the money in the world, I said, good luck. Duke's gonna lose outright. I wasn't willing to put my money on it because all the numbers back Duke. But Duke should have also been favored by 22, not 11. Probably. Who knows? Somebody said it. So Northern Iowa 10.5. Somebody asked me about that game. No, I don't think it's a trap game. Northern Iowa most certainly is the superior product of Valparaiso. Plus, they're at home, which, to be honest with you, in the Mo Valley, that's a tough place to play. 10.5, though, just based on the way they played the past couple of weeks, I don't like it. But for the year, you're taking the whole year, I think the line's soft. Yeah, Auburn could be looking at an upset tonight. This is Alabama's Super Bowl, guys. This is their Final Four. This is their championship game. Because you got to think, not only is it a rivalry game, but it's a rivalry game at home. And remember what happened back during football season. That's how SEC schools and schools like Clemson and people like that who are football schools think when it comes to basketball. They want to get their revenge on the basketball court and act like it means something. That's how they think. So, first of all, the line is ridiculous. That should be your first sign. I mean, truth be told, with the way Auburn's played, this being one of the very first true Bruce Pearl teams that don't have to rely solely on the three ball against a mediocre at best Alabama team. I mean, this line should be double digits. It's 2.5. It's ridiculous. Now, Alabama is obviously going to play them tough. You do have to take into consideration that it is a rivalry. You do have to take into consideration it's a rivalry with the lesser of the opponent being the home team. If I had to play this game, if somebody's like, you have to play it, I cannot fade Auburn until they give me a reason to fade them with such a short line. But I'm not laying anything with them. I'd lay $1.40 on the money line, which I'm not telling you to do. I'm not playing this game. Or I'd reverse it because, I mean, you're not really getting any value playing plus 120 on the money line with Alabama. I'd take the points at that point. But Auburn could be looking at an upset. Don't buy that 1.5. Money doesn't support it. That's the books toying with us. Don't worry, it'll go back up. If you're going to bet Auburn, take that now. But if you're going to bet Bama, wait. I think Missouri State is probably the better bet tonight as far as the Bradley game. Here's a game you aren't gonna like. First of all, we got 40 people in here and only 13 likes. No, that shit ain't working for me. Y'all better get that up to 40 like right meow. Everybody hit that like button if you want this free play, this underdog that nobody's going to agree with me on, but I'm telling you, this is actually a game that will trick you. Oh, Scott, there's always some circled. Problem is, you just don't know how the lines are going to come out. What's up, Jerry? And you can't truly label it until you get a line. That's number one. And then after that, you know, like I could be looking at a game in the NHL for instance, and it could be Saturday, and everything looks like it's going to fall into place, and then one of those teams, something happens to them on Thursday. And it just, you never know. I mean, yes, I've got 4 or 5 games circled that I think would make that type of caliber, but come the time of them, not all of them will be there. There's always something circled. Always. There was something circled for tonight. Line comes out. Nope. Doesn't make it. It immediately puts it back down. Yes, I have games circled every week. There was a game circled for tonight that didn't make it. The line came out and it was asinine. I've got games circled for tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday of next week, Friday of next week. I've got to go off of what I think is going to be the line. Not always that's not always the case. Yeah, it was easy last night. God, I really wish that line would have been just a little bit less. The Islanders have been too inconsistent recently. If it would have been under $1.50, that would have been a game of the week. But it wasn't. So the value actually lied within Tampa with the way they've been playing. Chicago underdog won last night. Dallas underdog winner last night. Vancouver shit the bed. But it happens. Sweeping the NBA, Bucks and Clippers. Western Michigan free play +4 I gave you guys yesterday, and Chicago Blackhawks +105. Both of the free plays I gave out on the show yesterday were winners. It's not about better line. It's about the value you're getting within the line of the two teams. So think about the way the Islanders have been playing here recently. Chris, don't ever get reluctant to play them in because our games, very seldom do our regulation games go into overtime. About 3 out of every 10, maybe. I'll take 70% odds all the time. But if you look at, Scott, to answer your question, if you look at the way Tampa has been playing, and you're going to lay $1.65, whatever regulation, and you're going to have to lay $1.55 for a team that's been wildly inconsistent, where do you see the value there? The value is in the team that's going to give you the best shot at winning. not always just about the line. The line plays a part in it, but there wasn't a big enough line differential to say that the Islanders pose more value for me versus the Tampa Bay Lightning, even though they are playing Detroit. Detroit was on an uptick. All right. Here's a game that I think it's worth looking at as a live home dog. I'll see how many people disagree with this. And there's 42 people in here and only 26 likes, so let's go ahead and fix that. Kings rated as in what? As in, like, where do I think they rank in the Western Conference? I think they're the worst team in the West. Jerry, that's a game I'm actually getting ready to talk about. I think Temple's a live dog, guys. I really do. Right now, I can get it on 5 Dimes and William Hill. I can get Temple at plus 4.5 at home. Is Wichita State the better team? Yeah. On paper, by the eye test. Temple's really struggled here recently to find consistency within their fundamental points of the game. But I'm telling you right now, Temple actually matches up a lot better to Wichita State than most people are even going to take the time to try to realize. I'm telling you right now, Wichita State has every ability to blow this team out by 50. But I'm telling you right now, if Temple comes out and plays and they get that crowd behind them, which I think they will, I could see Temple pulling the upset tonight. I'll take the 4.5 points as insurance. People are giving way too much credit to Wichita State. They're really not near as good as they have been. Nearly as good as they have been in the past 5 years. Yes, Roland, I'm taking Temple plus 4.5. What's up, Dan? Well, damn. The hell? Okay, here's one. Mr. Basin says, I like Creighton, a lot of great value tonight. And don't take this the wrong way. I'm not saying that you're right, wrong, or indifferent. I want to know where you see value on Creighton tonight. Because I actually see it the other way. I see a little bit of value on Georgetown. Georgetown's got the outside shooting to take Creighton down at home. This is a nice little Big East matchup that will be something that can be one of those games that gets talked about 2-3 weeks from now when they said this game was a deciding factor in what the teams did down the stretch. I don't love I'd love to take Georgetown on the money line. It's just a little bit, well, it's not too high, 145. But I don't see the value there would be laying the bucket, but Tell you another line that's fishy is this Kentucky line. I think Kentucky could be on upset alert. And South Carolina sucks. But South Carolina is, I mean, they're top 25 defensively. They really, really, I mean, they do guard the paint really well. As far as defense in the paint at home, they're a top 10 team defensively, guys, in that position. Kentucky is going to be forced to shoot the long ball tonight. Now, that could mean one of two things. They get hot even just for a moment's notice, then Kentucky could walk away with this thing by halftime. But if they do not get hot at some point from outside the arc, be on upset alert. Danny, I'm surprised that you didn't play Clemson on the money line last night when I told you that it was a trap game. Well, I told everybody in here that it was a trap game. And that Duke should be on upset alert. That line was so off last night. That line should have opened up like above 20. I made two really bold predictions yesterday. Clemson beating Duke, and I said, y'all can go back and watch. I said something about Luke Kuechly. I said he won't be in the league much longer, I don't think. And lo and behold, last night he announced his retirement. Somebody even said in the chat yesterday he's way too young to retire. He's got another 10 plus years left. You can't get a concussion every other week and play for 2 decades. Yeah, I've heard that, Danny. They're not. They're going to get blown out next game. Blown out. Man, Dan Le Batard, I like his morning show, but this show he does in the afternoon with Sarah Spain is hot garbage. And maybe it's just because of her, because she's such a Nimrod. Jerry, you will actually see that game on the card tonight, brother. You actually see a pick in both the games. Oh, yeah, Matt, I 100% believe that. Steven, 24 minutes. Yep, we have. But like I said in the beginning of the show, I know you weren't here, but because I'm having to end it right at 5, I can't go back and revisit everything, so it will be something that you'll have to go back and watch. So, but yes, there are plenty of leans that we've talked about so far. Giving out an official free play. Once we get to 50 likes, I'll give out another one. I'm telling you right now, tonight is pretty sharp. There's a lot of sharp lines. The NBA is really sharp tonight. There's an underdog I'm looking at in the NBA, and it's going to be hard to take them based on the way their opponent has been playing in recent weeks, but I may have to pull it. I may have to pull the trigger on it. No problem, Steven. Usually I just go back over revisit it, but today since I got tied up, I'm gonna have to end it like right at 5 o'clock. So, and usually we'll stay live for a couple of hours where we have time to do all that. But I've got to get once I end this, I've got to get the games posted up on the site, emails sent out, return a few emails. Then I've got to get some stuff done around here because I was actually at my office for most of the day today. And I'm wrapping some things up there because I'm not going to be going back for a couple of weeks as I'm going to be doing some traveling. And we have got a new podcast that we're going to finish recording tonight. Yep, we actually went over that, Danny. We actually talked about that game. The cliff notes of it, I think Auburn is on upset alert tonight. Is Auburn the better team? Yes, without question. But I think if there's any team that's on just upset alert tonight, that I think they're making it kind of obvious, I think it's Auburn. Alex Cora, you piece of shit. The over is scaring me. The over scares me. Let me put it to you this way. When I did that game earlier, where are my notes on that one? Well, damn. What did I do with it? I just did that game like a few minutes ago. What in the shit? Well, anyway, long story short, Florida State should cover it. What Florida State's going to have to do is they're going to have to run pace the whole game. They can't, if they allow themselves to be slowed down, that's how Florida State ends up getting beat. I think Florida State's dialed in right now, but the over scares me a little bit. I feel like it's too easy to take that number in the over. And I've already read that. I feel like it's set up to be just too easy. Yeah, I'll give you something to cheer you up. You got rid of a human piece of shit in Alex Cora, so you ain't got to deal with that anymore. Number one. And number two, don't feel bad about how bad the season was last year. You know why the season was so bad? Because he was cheating in 2018. Now, here's the thing. Somebody asked me this earlier today. They said, if they weren't cheating in 2018, do you think they would have won the World Series? And I said no. Now going back and looking at it, I said I think they were the most talented team. I said I think, truthfully, that the Dodgers would have done it. But I think that they would have played for a World Series. I still think they were the best team in the American League that year in 2017. I thought that the Houston Astros were. Last year I thought that the Houston Astros were. But the Red Sox were a close second. They're just too talented to have a season like that. Now, pitching was a big part of it. That has nothing to do with the cheating allegations. But then even at the plate, they played so poorly. Well, when you're used to knowing what's coming to where you can go out there and already have one of the most offensively talented teams in all of baseball and then play well above that because of the edge you have found. And then you just take that away and you come into it and he's like, all right, I've won 2 rings. I don't want to get caught. It'll just be too suspicious, yada, yada, yada. And now I'm going to take it away. Now the players are having to relearn how to play baseball again, for lack of a better term. It was manufactured. I think Alex Cora should be banned from baseball. I didn't like Alex Cora to begin with. People talked about what they're going to do now. He was a shitty manager anyway. He didn't know how to manage a team. Hell, he could barely read a scouting report. No wonder he had to find a way to cheat. But that little son of a bitch. Yeah, see, Altuve doing that shit with his jersey, too. They just showed a picture of that. I'm sorry. I've been saying the last 2 years, people can go back and watch my videos. I'm not a Jose Altuve fan. He ain't that damn good. I think Bregman, Correa, I think both of them are worlds better than Altuve. Altuve's got to have a curveball. Oh, I like playing Furman. It's just more difficult. Now, you got to think, SoCon's really coming up. And right now, I feel like they're still playing Furman numbers of last year. Like, some of the lines are just inflated a little bit. I love it when I can play Furman. To be honest with you, I've got Furman circled tonight as a game that I like. But truth be told, if you really look at the game, like I broke it down, I've got the line should be 9. 9 to 9.5. I mean, Western Carolina is no match for Furman, in my opinion, but they're good enough to get within double digits. It's all going to depend on how they play for the duration of the game. So, and again, we don't know that. Furman's now getting to the point where wins are going to be okay with them because they could run the table in the SoCon from here on out, and they know it. But they're going to have to manage their time well. They can't go out there and run their stars ragged just to blow a team out. That's one thing that I love about that Furman coach is that he is smart enough where I think he could be. Truth be told, and this really depends on the offers that he gets, he's a good enough coach where he's not going to stay at Furman forever. I think he loves Furman. I think he loves Greenville. But Furman's just not going to be a program that can pay you enough to entice you to stay for decades on end if you have the talent to coach at a big-time university. But I truly believe that Clemson's athletic department will be smart enough to know how much he loves the area, throw some big money at him to say, hey, you can stay. You don't got to go anywhere. You might want to move 20 minutes south, but you don't have to go anywhere. You can stay in the upstate of South Carolina where your kids are. Hell, you could stay in the Furman Travelers Rest area if you wanted to. You just have a longer trek to work every day and come coach Clemson. I think that's where he'll end up. Oh, dumb plaid suit guy's not going to last. I know he thinks that he is because North Carolina beat themselves by not fouling in the end, and Duke came out flat in a trap game last night, but he sucks. He's terrible. And I think they know it. I just don't think they have anybody good enough to bring in that is going to make a difference. Not unless they want to fork out some big bucks. Oh, yeah, Scott, we made a lot of money. I was looking at that the other day. I pulled back up the numbers from Furman over the past 3 years. I think I've played them 52 times in 3 seasons, hitting like 78% of them. Rutgers -3. I do kind of like that. Philly -7, I'm not in love with. When I did the line, I had Philly -8, so I think the line's sharp. So there's zero value there. Philly, again, is inconsistent. Brooklyn, I'm not going to say that just because Kyrie came back and did what he did in his first game back. I still think that he's part of the problem, not the solution. So that's going to be a game that I highly doubt I'll have anything on. If I had to play something, I'd probably take the over in that game. Furman's the most beautiful college campus in the world, in my opinion. Who is that? Brennan, the only official free play that I've given out is Temple +4.5. That is it. We've gone over and talked about. Well, Scott, you would actually probably be right because you're talking about somewhere near the ocean, which Furman is not. Let's say in something that's not on the coast. I would say Furman is. Furman's gorgeous. I used to live like less than a mile from there. Still have a house over that way. Could see the bell tower that they've got on the lake, like from my backyard. Irie probably is on suicide watch after losing -700 on the money line to Duke last night. After I told him that Clemson that game was a trap game and Duke was gonna lose outright. Yeah, and see, somebody said that to me this morning. We were talking about it. They're like, "Oh, just because you know what pitch is coming doesn't mean you can hit it." Take your lowest tier major league starting player, someone in the lineup, somebody that steps up to the plate every day. He's better than 99% of the people on the face of the planet when it comes to standing at the plate and hitting something. Whether he's good by major league standard or not, he's still in the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% of people that can hit a fucking ball with a bat. You know, it doesn't work out every game, but you have an extremely large advantage. I truly believe, take Cora out of it, take cheating out of it. I still think Houston would have won the series in 17, and I think that Boston would have played for the series in 18. They would have lost to the Dodgers had it not been for that. And I think that Houston would have still been where they were last year. Houston was the best team in baseball last year, bar none. And the only team that was remotely comparable when you talk about an entire team was the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Boston Red Sox. But the Boston Red Sox not only had a little bit of a World Series hangover, they had some pitching issues. They had to relearn how to do it with their own abilities instead of somebody telling them what's coming. It's just like all you guys. If all you guys in this chat break your own games down and handicapped, and you made a decision that for one full year you weren't going to do that, you were just going to take my games, never look at anything, never do anything like that, just play them and move on. And then in a year from now, you would come back and start capping again, you would have to relearn some things. Because you've been out of the game for a year just relying on me. And that's all you're going to do. You don't want to look at it yourself, which a lot of people do that anyway, but they were never truly capping to begin with. Or they were capping and it was killing them. I feel like I warn Irie about something every show. I don't know if he's just fucking with us or he's serious. If he's serious, then I need to meet Irie. I need to sit there and have a word of prayer with Irie. But you know what? He could just be fucking with all of us. Be sitting back going, yeah, I'm not that stupid. Brennan, I think that Temple is a live dog. I don't know that I would trust them to beat them because they're not a better team than Wichita State. But with getting 4.5, I certainly trust the points a lot more. Come on. I think Irie's a good dude too. Except he keeps telling me he wants to buy. Like every time I run a special, he doesn't buy it, and then comes back and goes, "Are you going to run it again?" And I'll say no. He's like, "Damn it, I want to buy it. I'll buy it right now." And a couple of times I said, "Irie, just send me an email." Never does it. Carlos Beltran. I don't like his fat ass either. Old bloated motherfucker. Sit down. Sit down. I was just in the gas lamp. I stayed at the Hard Rock. Right there. I mean, you could see the Gaslamp District sign from my room. Well, from one side of my room. The other side, where the balcony was, was actually, you could see the back of Petco Park. Or the entrance to Petco Park, technically, near Tony Gwynn Way. But I say the back because it's outfield entrance. Over near the team store and everything. Where are you going down? Go ahead. Of all time, I don't know. He's most certainly top 10. We're going to be doing on the podcast in a couple of episodes, probably during spring training. I'm going to run a little contest or something to get a few people involved, and we're going to do a live draft. We're going to make it fast. Everybody's going to have to do their own research beforehand. So when we start the podcast, you're each going to get like 30 seconds a pick, and we're going to draft our team. You can choose anybody that is an active Major League Baseball player right now. You can, even if they're, in minor leagues, you can draft them. And we're going to do it like a fantasy football draft. We're not going to do it based on money or anything like that. You can draft whatever you want, but then based on statistics, once it's all said and done, we'll see who, per statistics, has drafted the best team. And the winner, obviously, if it's not myself or my co-host, will be giving something away to the winner. We were going to do that this coming episode, but with everything happening with the Astros and the Red Sox and all that, we're going to hammer out an episode about that stuff, and then we'll get on to it on the next one. Plus, I got a couple of sponsors lined up that want me to record little commercials for them for one of the episodes, so I need to do that as well. I'd live in Arizona. My wife wouldn't. Jesse, you gonna be waiting, man. I hate to say it. I wish that I could have said that Duke beat Clemson last night, but that's why yesterday I said that it was a trap game and that I think that Clemson was going to beat them outright. And I had to try to talk Irie off the ledge of betting minus 700 on the money line for Duke. Well, I guess, what do I know? Is anybody else watching ESPN right now? Who is this chick? You got Sarah Spain's stupid ass, Dan Le Batard, and then some chick. Never seen her before. Or if I have, I just haven't paid attention. She's wearing like a flannel. How do they keep getting like new people every single day?
Get out there, dunk on him. He's going to take a 100 field goal. He's going to be shooting every time he touches the ball.
Tonight on A&E, America's Top Dog.
Oh, okay.
This is about dogs. It's got to be about dogs, right? We've got two dog lovers here. Look at this. They don't even know what this is. And already
You don't like dogs.
on the next America's Top Dog.
I don't know who that is. She's slightly annoying. We can do that. We can do that. I'll need to set something up because I think you can set something up like you would for an office pool or something, and I can just have you guys log into my account on ESPN and fill it out under your name, and then maybe we'll give something away for the winner. But we'll go off, we'll go off of just wins and losses. I mean, it'll be a point system, and it will be graded by ESPN, not me. Is he bashing Clemson? I gotta find this.
There will say, well, he didn't realize what was going on and he's giving it back.
Yeah, and we'll see if Mike Tiger gets any sort of a disciplinary action as well. Meanwhile, the transfer portal also making news. You remember Alabama running back Jerome Ford? We told you last week.
Oh, I'm just saying Alabama talk. That no interest me. Oh yeah, there's plenty of games I'm interested in, but we need one more like for y'all to get a free premium play. Then I'll give that. Then I gotta go. Oh, and at the end, since we've got 60 people in here, I'm gonna make a big announcement because I've had 1,000 questions or requests to do what I'm getting ready to do. All right, we're at 50 likes. All right, everybody hang tight for just a second because I've got to actually make this go live. So hold on one second. I told myself I wasn't going to do this. I ran a promo last week or the week before. And I've done promos, I guess, similar to it before. But usually when I do this, it's like a one-time thing. I do it once. It generates some people that were, like new business, people that were on the fence. It kind of gets them in for a first-time thing, see what it's all about, yada, yada, yada. And then I'll never run it again. I delete it. I take it completely out of the system to where it's not even an option for me to have. But I have had, no bullshit, at least 200 emails requesting that I have this again. And I kept saying, no, not going to do it. I'm going to do it one more time. It is getting deleted later. And it will not be back. But the 5 for 50 is back, peeps. Till midnight tonight only. Not only is it going away at midnight, it's being deleted. Let me give you a couple of plays. One play that I haven't locked in yet, but I like. I'll tell you this: I like the Bulls -4 tonight. It's not often that I can say that. I like the Bulls, and I'm thinking about putting my money on them. But tonight, I think Washington's played better recently. But you're going to go into Chicago where Levine shoots like an absolute immortal stud, and your defense is terrible. And Chicago's not as bad as they come off to be. I mean, they're bad, but they're not. They're not certainly not the worst in the NBA. I kind of like Chicago tonight. Another game that I'd love to play money line if it could come down a little bit more and some people would start back in Washington, but okay. Another dog play. Premium, something that I've already locked in. Tennessee +3.5 if it's still that. Let me see. Road dog at Georgia. Defensively, Tennessee is a world ahead of Georgia. Georgia has been playing better offensively as of late. They usually play well offensively at home, and Tennessee can't get out of their way offensively, especially here recently. The way they played against South Carolina was pathetic offensively. But we kind of say that take that with a grain of salt, being that South Carolina is a very, very good defense, very well coached defense, and very good at forcing people to shoot outside shots. That's how they beat Clemson the way they did. That's how they hung with Tennessee the way they did, because Tennessee is not a dominant outside shooting team. Now, Georgia is getting credit for I don't know what. I mean, they've played some tough games. They've played them down to the wire. Hell, they've had some decent wins this year. But Georgia is not anything more than an average team, in my opinion. And I'm saying average, and that's really me being nice. I don't think that they have a shot at the SEC, in the tournament. I don't think they have a snowball's chance in hell to be considered a March Madness type team. I don't think they could make a run in the NIT if the NIT started today. They're just not a good team in my opinion. I think they play like an average team on most nights, but for them to be laying 3 points to Tennessee, I'm sorry. That's just not. There's no way to justify it other than an overreaction to the way that a bad South Carolina team almost beat Tennessee in Knoxville. Old Rick Barnes, the return, which Rick Barnes can't win a big game. That's been proven. He couldn't win a championship game if he was playing a girls' middle school team. But it's an overreaction. It's the way they played against South Carolina, which, to be honest with you, Tennessee played just as good defensively. They just played half of what their offense is capable of. Now, I've said 1,000 times over that Tennessee has been beyond overrated for the last couple of years. People actually thought last year that Tennessee was the best team in the country. And I kept telling people that I didn't believe that they were even a top 15 team. So, I stand by that. But tonight, they're the better team. I did this line 3 different ways, and even if you factor in 3 points for being the home team, I still have Tennessee -1.5. If you want to sprinkle some on the money line, you are more than welcome to do so. In a game like this where Tennessee has been struggling offensively, I think that you're getting a lot better value by taking 3 points, and the money line's only going to get you $1.20, so it's not like there's a lot of value there. But I like Tennessee at Georgia tonight. I think the wrong team's favored. Yep. That is correct, Stephen.
Still think he's going to make it.
You think so, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I got one that might surprise, 2 that might surprise.
Fisher will be on. Are you kidding?
This fucking guy. That's why I can't listen to Paul Feinbaum, because the people that call into his show are absolute dipshits. Jerry, I think they're a for real top 25 team. I do not think they're a for real top 10, make a run in the tournament team and, possibly have a chance to win it. I think they're a for real Big 12 team. And I think they're a for real top 25 team that could be a thorn in people's side. And, they're very well coached. Bob Huggins knows how to win games that he should win. He always has those couple of games every year that you think they're going to get beat, that he ends up coming out and surprising everybody. But then he also has at least one game every year that he should throttle a team and he gets the ever-living shit kicked out of him and has to get another, heart valve put in. I said that Florida State, the line's justified, but I won't be playing it. I'd like for Stanford to go back up to a favorite, and I'd probably play UCLA. And we faded UCLA on Saturday. They were a home favorite against USC. We took USC as the road dog, and they won outright. I think UNLV is very justified tonight against San Jose State. San Jose State is awful, 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 period, and they're even worse on the road. So, but that's it, guys. I got to bounce. I got to get these plays done. But we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do our normal time. The 5 for 50 is back. 5 days, $50. It's active till midnight, and then it will never be back after that. So make sure you jump on. All right. All right, that's it, guys. So I said I like Temple as an active dog tonight, plus 4.5. The official free play was Tennessee, plus 3. Small lean on the Bulls, minus 4. And I think that's the only free ones that I gave out. And small, well, that's not really even a lean. So lean Chicago Bulls minus 4. Official free play Tennessee plus 3. And lean Temple plus 4.5. So